What's going on? What's going on? My people, we in here tonight. Late night show. Let's get it. So listen, you know how we do. If you are of the weak, the faint-hearted, if you do not do well with constructive criticism, all in the name of leveling up and doing better than you did yesterday. If you have thin skin, this is not the channel for you, because we do all of that here, right? All in the name of being better than we were yesterday, right? Let's go. What's happening, my people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And I ask because I want to know. We like to hear progress. Again, you guys know my stance. If you do work for someone, when was the last time you approached him and let him know him or her know you've been killing it, and that you're pretty sure that you can handle that position that Rhonda just left, right? That's what we do. We don't stay stagnant. We're not complacent. We level up and we watch everybody else sit around and talk, right? But listen, people, we got a crazy show today. Crazy show. But I mean, that's kind of redundant because, you know, that's what we always do, right? It's a very important show, actually. Actually, a very important show. But listen, there's a thing that we've been needing to talk about that we often decide not to talk about. I want to show everyone a visual demonstration of what it looks like being under the authority of a black man. Us in and everybody else out, right? Us in, everybody else out. Listen, I'm not sure how many of you know this or are aware of it. You guys know I'm more of an a-hole than a conspiracy theorist. Definitely not a conspiracy theorist. Those people irritate me. They have nothing better to do. But we are definitely under attack, people. I'm seeing these things. I'm experiencing these things myself. I've noticed this. Influencers who have large followings, or just influencers who have crowds, whatever. The moment black men and black women start talking amicably and start getting along and even start, you know, in some cases I've seen apologizing, you know, when it looks like there's some type of reform coming. You won't believe this if I tell you. Pages go blank and accounts get banned. It's happened to multiple people. You people may not understand it, but there actually is huge incentive for black men and black women to not get back together. Huge incentive. If people can keep black women outside of what a man does for a woman, the correction, you know, pretty much the supervision. I mean, everyone, even women, know that women will go as far as you let them, especially with their pocketbook. Imagine keeping the corrector, the authoritative figure out of that house. Well, you'd continue seeing people spend $1 billion plus on hair weave a year, right? But listen, I want to get to something that you can comprehend. We're being attacked on a massive level. And what I mean when I say that, when black people are on social media, typically, you know, I'm talking about some of the most hostile black men and black women, finally find some type of common ground, right? And start, you know, even in some cases, apologizing to each other and saying they're going to attempt to do better, the page will go white. That has been pointed out several times, and accounts get blocked. Now, why would an account get blocked for amicably talking about some type of reunion, right? It's really crazy. You'll see an account with not many friends. Also, I know some of you have seen this. You'll see an account with it has not many friends. It's a very fresh and very new account. When you see black men and black women talking cordial to each other and seeming like they're having a good time, there will be one of those accounts that will interject some type of negative virus into the conversation, but it will be under the premise that they're one of us. And my question to you is it? Is it? Again, I'm the last person. I'm far from a conspiracy theorist. I want to show you guys some really interesting things. Show's not going to be too long tonight. I'm getting more and more to the point of, say what I have to say, make the impact that I have in me, and leave it at that. I don't think you can lecture a person into any type of change. Maybe more of examples and demonstrations. That's pretty much where we're leaning toward right now. But listen, people, we have to lock everyone out and interact with those of us who are on the inside, us in and everyone else out. Listen, we have to stop going to therapists and doctors who are not of the Asian descent, black descent, Latino descent. Listen, it's getting crazy. Things are getting crazy, and it's getting to the point where things are getting flamboyant, where people are not even hiding things anymore. The FBI released a report 5 years ago that suggested law enforcement had been infiltrated by white supremacy. And then shortly thereafter, we started seeing black men getting shot 60 times in the back while running away from police officers, right? What makes you think law enforcement, if this report is, and listen, you can Google this up, you can Google this report up. If law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacy groups charading as police officers, what makes you think only law enforcement was infiltrated by white supremacy? Black women die in a childbirthing rate like no other. How is this? And our organs and our bodies are healthier than everyone's, right? I want you to look at this video. I want you to look at this. Very interesting.
Women of color, tell me a time when your doctor told you that you needed an unnecessary hysterectomy. I'll go first. It was a couple years ago. I had breakthrough bleeding. I was fatigued. I had clotting, and it was so bad around that time of the month I couldn't go outside. And I went to my doctor, and she told me that I needed a hysterectomy. She said, your stomach will be smaller. She said, why don't you go ahead and donate your uterus to science? I asked her, was there any other options? She was like, nope, you will just, unless you want to bleed to death, that time a month until you reach menopause. Well, I didn't go with that, and I went and got a second opinion. I'm glad that I did, because I had a fibroid. The fibroid was removed through outpatient surgery, and I took iron pills, and I ended up being perfectly fine. I did not need a hysterectomy. I am perfectly fine now.
Listen, I'm going to play that one more time. I know there was some feedback. I want you guys to see this. These are not games. This is real.
Women of color, tell me a time when your doctor told you that you needed an unnecessary hysterectomy. I'll go first. It was a couple years ago. I had breakthrough bleeding. I was fatigued. I had clotting, and it was so bad around that time of the month I couldn't go outside. And I went to my doctor, and she told me that I needed a hysterectomy. She said, your stomach will be smaller. She said, why don't you go ahead and donate your uterus to science? I asked her, was there any other options? She was like, nope, you will just, unless you want to bleed to death, that time a month until you reach menopause. Well, I didn't go with that, and I went and got a second opinion. I'm glad that I did, because I had a fibroid. The fibroid was removed through outpatient surgery, and I took iron pills, and I ended up being perfectly fine. I did not need a hysterectomy. I am perfectly fine now.
Right? Can you imagine just thinking about what potentially has been being done to us for decades, even on a potentially experimental level? Sometimes, if you want a clearer vision, ask yourself what you would do if you had the power. Most of you say you wouldn't, but you probably would. You'd do things like this, probably, especially to a race that had superior genes, and there's no telling what you would do. People, it's time for us to lock in and lock everyone else out. Our business is our business, and people who won't interact with us on camera shouldn't even be allowed to dip into that type of conversation because, listen, we're having the most intimate discussions, detailed discussions, in front of we don't know who. We don't even know who. We're on social media going at each other's head in the most intimate ways, revealing secrets, everything. How intelligent is that? How intelligent is that? We see accounts that don't even have pictures up when we're on social media going at each other's throats, saying some of the most intimate things, revealing the cores of the black community and everything. And you don't know who was just sitting right there, right, in broad daylight, absorbing it all, injecting their own personal venom into the conversations to keep the madness going on. And us as goofballs, we keep it going on. We'll keep right at it, entertaining. It's time, people. We don't need everybody. We don't even need all black women. We don't even need all black men. We need a small percentage of the ones who get it, the ones who see eye to eye, the ones who share the common ground of the best possible outcome for us, right? As it pertains to this thing called life, right? It's time for us to do our part in letting the world see what agreement looks like, right? The more I do these shows and the more I interact, I see that there's only a couple of ways this thing can play out. Tomorrow you may hear me on here giving a tongue lashing like no other to my female black counterparts, meaning every word of it. But nonetheless, my main goal is to cause positive reinforcements. My main goal is to repair. I'll be honest with you, I don't think the black race is going to survive. Not long. We can't survive. Mathematically, we really can't. I mean, the damage that we've done, we've been digging a hole for over 100 years. And if we even started putting dirt back on top of the hole today, yeah. See, we've been digging a hole for 100 years, and holes need dirt put back over them when it's time for repair, right? So how can we repair and we haven't even stopped digging the hole yet? Black men and women love each other about as much as the Ku Klux Klan loves black people. So it wouldn't be difficult to cause massive amounts of damage in the black community. You wouldn't even have to pull these out and go at black people. You could coerce them with a fishing pole to do the damage to themselves. But listen, if we want to see any types of progress, all we have to do is copy off of what every other thriving nation is doing, the business model that has proven itself. People, it's relationships. Yes, it is that simple. It's relationships. It's not leaving those relationships. It's not cheating and breaking your pair bond abilities. Ladies, your pair bond abilities will allow your marriage to not require so much work because it will increase your ability to just be naturally crazy about your man without having to put the work in. Right? You hear a lot of women talking about, marriage is hard, marriage is it's work and da da da. Well, it wouldn't be so much work if you didn't mess. Your pair bond ability decreases after 10 sexual partners. Those of you women who are out there getting smashed right now, it's going to be so hard. There's a thing that happens. Chemicals are released and cause, not even just in the human world, in the animal kingdom. Pair bonding is the element that causes a mate to bond to its mate. You remember we used to have sex with a woman and she would be sprung. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, I assume that probably, doesn't happen for every man, but those of you who know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have her gaga goo goo right now, right? She's blowing your phone up and you just touched one time. Her pair bonding. That's what it is. It's her pair bonding. But here's the thing. A woman's ability to bond, it decreases all the way down to, I believe, 10% or 20% past 5 sexual partners. Imagine what women are doing today. You have to think about this. You remember when women were being sprung over men? What else was common back then? Shaming. That's why women had so few sexual partners back then. You get shamed. You get called. You get looked down on for having multiple bodies. And when women's body count was that low, they were still vulnerable to pair bonding. That's why they were, what did I do? Take me back, and things like that. That's why. Because they were, I'll say it, they were still good merchandise. I said it. They were still good merchandise. No, most of you aren't still good merchandise anymore, by far. Some of you are totaled out. Like when they come to give you the estimate on your car after it's been wrecked, the car right now as it stands is worth $4,000, but to repair it, it costs $25,000, and they total that out. Some of you are totaled completely out. If 10 bodies cause a pair bond ability to break all the way down to, 10%? What do you say about these women out here who have 50 bodies and counting? A woman's pair bonding ability is compromised the moment she starts getting ran through, which makes you a bad mate for a man because you can't even be affectionate and emotional to him anymore without letting him know that you don't care if the relationship ends. And the only reason that you have that in you is because all of the natural elements inside of you that causes you to lock in, link in, and bond with your mate, your partner, have been diminished due to your hot girl summer, right? People, it's important to reestablish relationships. A lot of people don't even understand why they say women in the black community aren't good for long-term relationships anymore. Well, it's because after you have so many sexual partners, you diminished your ability to pair bond. Look up the definition of pair bonding. It's what attaches people to each other. It's what causes me to be thinking about you even though I'm at work, right? That's what this is. If we don't, a lot of you aren't even capable of it anymore. A lot of you have had that thing stretched out from here to El Segundo, and in a lot of cases, not even any condoms. So you are pretty much probably really, really damaged goods and damaged. Like, yeah. Look up pair bonding. Do a little bit of research on it because you'll know that those of you ladies who every time you touch a man, there's not a condom in sight and you could care less, you are damaged goods and you're actually no good. You're probably still good for babysitting and, I don't know, cooking and things like that, but you're definitely not good to be a mate because you can't bond with a man, right? You can't bond. You guys, you know what? I'll look it up for you. Pair bond. You guys didn't know so much biology played a role in relationships, did you? Well, I did. It's important. It's vital. Here we go. Here we go. Form a close relationship through courtship and sexual activity with one other animal or person. Only 3% of all animal species pair bond. It's getting bad out there, people. It's getting bad. And that's why a lot of you people can't hold a decent relationship because you don't even know you don't have emotions anymore. You like to say that you still have emotions. No one wants to admit, hey, I'm an animal. But a lot of you ladies who have been ran through the ringer, And unfortunately, yes, this is one of those things that is a double standard. Pair bonding does not affect men that way. It simply doesn't. Men can gain a deep, deep, loyal love for a woman just based on something she's done for him. Right after he goes behind the neighborhood liquor store and gets topped off by someone who came from Skid Row, right? Come right back home and be willing to take 5 to 10 people out, all in the name of your honor. You ladies don't understand how far you are away from your genetic makeup, and things caused it to happen. Women weren't designed to get ran through like that. Listen, I'll say this. Today, 20 bodies is almost like a virgin. You all know I'm telling the truth. Oh, Lord God, don't let us get to talking about women up in their 40s. Dare we say past the 150 mark, 100 mark, 150. You probably not even good to have a pet. A pet probably can't even get close to you and learn to love you. Like, listen, there is things that happen with pair bonding. There's, things that emit from you, things that cause you to be naturally crazy about this individual without having to put in much work. But if you keep breaking yourself, listen, don't get this twisted. I know 0.point of you are seriously taking this information in. Probably have a smash session set up for later tonight, right? But you're not contributing to the black community. You're actually creating more of a liability to the black community than anything, because you won't be worth anything to the black community. If you're in your 40s, you've already passed geriatric pregnancy and it's dangerous for you to even attempt having kids anymore. And if you're in your 40s, you've been through the trauma trails and, had some bad experience, this and that. So you're going to come with some type of premonitions about, man, you're going to come with some type of attitude. You're going to come with some type of baggage and this and that. The best thing that you ladies can do, learn to develop a pleasant behavior. A lot of you have had so much sex, it really kind of would be a chore for you to learn to develop a one-on-one monogamous love for a man. After you've touched so many different men, it would be really hard for anyone to not occasionally think about some of those amazing moments where you spent with some of those amazing men, even though you're in a serious relationship right now. It'd be difficult. See, what you ladies don't understand is you're breaking yourselves like toys. You're taking yourselves, you're putting yourself in your hands and doing like that to where you're not useful. Because if we're technical about it, women, as far as men are concerned, you have two extreme values to us. It's sex and pregnancy. Anything outside of that, we don't really need from you. There's things outside of that that you have that are extremely valuable, like your ability to make us amazing when we don't feel amazing, your ability to motivate, your ability to inspire. And this is for the women who still retain their femininity, because those are the ones who have the ability to do us like that. So it's not like you're not valuable, but everybody knows. Listen, it sounds harsh the way I say it, but if we're being honest, even ladies know that sexual is their number one value, to be honest. It's not even number two, it's their number one. For the simple fact, what do you see ladies on social media marketing more than anything? Their number one value. You don't see women on social media taunting their ability to birth children. You don't hear people talking about that. That's not what you ladies use as a tool every day to get what you want. You know what you use. Does it sound harsh the way I say it sometimes? Yes. But I don't care. The truth shall set you free. And I feel liberated right now. Ain't that something? The Bible describes you as a helpmeet for man. We needed you to make all that we do here on earth a lot more pleasant. So if you look at it in the right perspective, a woman, her main value is sexual. If you ask any man on the entire planet what he first thinks about when he thinks about a woman, I think we all know the answer. What are the things that, listen, name me one thing that makes a man say, ooh, whew. He's probably not talking about her degree. He's not. Hey, He's not. Men aren't walking down the street like, I bet you her ability to love me unconditionally is crazy. I'm finna go holler at her. He's probably not. He's thinking about the moistness of your body. And he's hypothesizing what you feel like. He's not talking about how amazing he thinks you are because your ability to potentially give him children. So yes, it does. Truths often sound mean. And I have been appointed your general to deliver such type of information. I don't mind at all. How about that? Long as it's the truth, I stand firm on it. I will not bring you any type of incorrect information. I go out of my way to make sure that the things that I tell you can benefit you in the long run, because that's all I care about is the long run. Second, it's your ability to have children, but a lot of you women are over 40 and geriatric pregnancy has already set in. So where does a woman like that, where does her value lie? I'm glad you asked. In being pleasant. In being pleasant. But a lot of you have to relearn how to be pleasant because it was originally in a woman's biology. She didn't know how to do anything else, right? She didn't know how to call someone a F-U-C-K boy. She didn't know how to call someone she's romantically interested in bruh, right? The price of a woman, a real woman, what men deem as a real woman, is so high that she gets, they call it, those type of women are called kept women because men spot them out. They target them. They track them down and they put them in positions where, hey, listen, I don't want you to work. I just want you to be mine. It's because of that energy. That woman has not lost her ability to be a woman, to be a lady. And those women are extremely valuable in the eyes of men. Very. Because wherever we take you, when we take you to meetings with our boss, his wife says, she was just so pleasant. And you don't think that trickles down into me and my boss's business life? His wife at home telling him how amazing my wife is, right? Goes a long way. There's things that a woman, a real woman, can get done that a man can't get done. And she doesn't have to work as hard. She can get us things. But I'll say about 80%, 85% of you ladies have lost yours. What I mean by that is, in today's time, it's not even cool to have it. You're calling each other bad bitchs. Ain't that something? Those of you ladies who really are looking to the future, like a lot of you should be looking to the future. If you're in your 40s and if you're in your late 30s, it's about over with. The world has told you who you are. There aren't going to be any more spurts where the world is like all men are like, y'all see the new hottie that just moved in apartment J? Gorgeous. You've had that already. It's not coming back. It's similar to a lot of rappers who, when they start losing their fan base, it's over and it stings. But here's the cool part. It doesn't have to sting. Imagine locking in with somebody who's going to give you constantly and consistently give you the attention that you used to love from the people that you got attention from when you were in your prime. Can it even get any better than that? And he pays half of your bills. You ladies don't understand what's going on is you are losing your ability to be desired by men. Just by the way, listen, I want to show you something. I spoke to this woman because I had to get her permission to do something. I need you, listen, she's a ton more pleasant than that in real life. I want you to listen to how she speaks.
Women of color, tell me a time when your doctor told you that you needed an unnecessary hysterectomy. I'll go first. It was a couple years ago. I had breakthrough bleeding. I was fatigued. I had clotting, and it was so bad around that time of the month I couldn't go outside.
This woman is so pleasant to talk to. Her voice is hypnotic. I had to reach out to her to get permission to use her content. You ladies have lost your ability to have men arguing over you. Do you know the lengths men would have went through in the name of defending the honor of women that they were dating, it could get really, really bad right away. When's the last time you heard two men arguing over a woman? You don't have to today. If you talk to her right, she'll join both of you. And it could be his girlfriend that he's had for 2 years. If he says it right, her main concern will be just, well, you sure you're not going to get mad? But I'm going to say this to you ladies who do want to stand out, to you ladies who do know that you need someone in your near future. And listen, in case you didn't know, I'll be the one who says this to you. I'll let you know. Ladies, 25 years ago, this was a two-income society. Two-income society, like they said it. When the middle class was disappearing, listen, it takes two to survive in the United States. And just because you know someone who they have one job and you know their house hasn't got repoed yet or anything like that, listen, it's not smooth. There's borrowing money going on behind the scenes. There's certain needs not being met. It's called a financial strain. It's a stress. It's a roof. The roof of your finances is being stretched, right? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. But did you know that if you have a mate, I don't care if he's a janitor, that is going to free up some of your money. It's going to free up some of your time. It's going to free up some of the stress that you incur daily. When you tell him, babe, I'm not going to make it home for work. Can you hurry up and set the trash out? They're coming to pick it up in 20 minutes. A lot will be lifted up off of your shoulders, right? The thing is, fellas, I'm going to say this, and this is going to be very blunt, brutal, and harsh. About 80% of our women, we have to step over them and walk past them in order to retrieve the amazing black women. Black culture is one of the most terrible things that you can, it's just terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I call it upside down world, where wrong is right and right is wrong. Our music, listen. Our women used to be of the caliber that had men singing songs like, ready or not, I'll give you everything and more. All that I've got is yours. I'll give you everything. All that you're looking for. Then he starts off, I'll give you the sun, the moon, the stars. Do you know how women do you know what the value of women had to be to even inspire men to write songs like this? I will give you the sun, the moon, the rain, the stars, what do you say, and mountains. I'll give you the world and all that you're looking for. See, these weren't just lyrics that were written. Like Luther, everybody. You can just go back. These songs were inspired by women that men desired because they had high value, right? Now you ladies got people singing songs called Dick You Down, Dick You Down, Dick You Down, Dick You Down. Yep. Because your value has plummeted. If you get to call yourself bitch all day long, how can't I? So, for those of you ladies who know that it's time for you to have someone in your life, you better get serious. And what I mean by getting serious is you have to reprogram where your software is boo-boo. If you really want to get married, renounce black culture and do everything the opposite of what we do in black culture. It's not normal to be smashing. It's not normal. Biology doesn't even agree with it. That's why it's messing up your ladies' bodies. You get a good man according to the bait that you're using. Men see what you ladies are doing. We go to your social medias and we get a gist of who you are. And listen, you guys gotta forgive my chair. I don't know what's going on with it. Nonetheless, the message is fire, right? But listen, we're about to get up out of here. Ladies, I'm going to tell you this. Good men are out there. Especially, you know what I would do if I was you ladies? And I would beat you ladies. I'd make you look so stupid. Those of you who don't have a man, I would grab one of these men who are down on their luck. Still decent guy, but he just can't find his way. Maybe that felony is holding him back and society's beating him up. If you are who you ladies say you are, so educated. Oh, another thing that I'm going to tell you ladies and men, we have to stop going to psychiatrists who are not Asian, Latino, or black. That's another thing. Do you know the caliber of people that you have playing around on the inside of your head? And then, they've already, the FBI, I'd like to read that FBI report in full when they said that white supremacy groups had infiltrated. Like they have been planning to do it for some years. One, fill an application out at the police station. Two, fill an application out. Until before you know it, man, they have like 50% of neo-Nazis and things like this that are employed by people who have the right to pull you over, question you about your personal business, and hope that it leads to some type of confrontation that allows them to, well, you know how it's been going. Imagine a world where therapists couldn't be the exact same type of racist. Playing around on the inside of your head, giving you information that will cause the collapse of your entire family. Your entire family. It's brilliant if you want to know the truth about it. But listen, we're about to get up out of here, but I want you people to know, people had better stop being so picky. If you ladies are as educated as you say you are, if you are as capable as you say you are, what's wrong with that guy who maybe he did used to have a drug problem some years ago, but you even think he's cute a little bit, but you look down on him because you're thinking, what will my girls say if they thought I was messing with this? You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, all of them are single. Put some of that feminine magic on him. Some of that, the most educated group that you say you are. The ones who are excelling so much in the economic field, right? Put some of that on him. Level him up. Help him reach his potential as a man. See, you ladies want Michael B. Jordan as he is right now. You didn't want him when he was auditioning for roles like The Wire. You ladies always like finished product. You don't want to put in the work. That's why you ladies, you don't go lose the weight you put on a waist trainer that's half killing you. You don't go through the phase of making sure that your hair is done every day. You go buy a clump of weave and throw it on top of your hair for about a month and a half. You don't go lose weight to go get liposuction. That is proof that you ladies don't like putting in the work. You like the finished product. You ladies are out here talking about where the good men at. Well, what that really means is you want the men who have already put themselves together, have already established their financial success, right? And you want to enjoy that and reap some of the rewards of that. Yet you didn't even put in on that, man. How about that? The same way you don't want to help those other men build their potential, themselves up to their highest potential. Why would this man want to build himself up to his highest potential, then let you come in and reap the benefits when you did not put in on that, man? See how that works? It's almost like a formula that actually dictates and supports my theory that you women are supposed to lower your bars and your standards and give some of those men a shot. You could have the absolutely best man out of all of your friends. Thing is, we worry about what people think too much. I mean, can you imagine how many people walked past Charlie Wilson when he was down and out, when they were saying that he was spotted over here on drugs, pawning awards and things like that for dope? It took one person to care enough to believe in him, to build him back up to Charlie. Hey, girl. Right? You could have been that girl. But you worried about what your girlfriends will say if you was messing with Charlie on drugs, Charlie, right? But now, because of a white woman, I believe, he's Oscar Award winning Charlie again. Yeah. And another thing, when you're helping build that man into the higher caliber man he is, You know more about him, opposed to a man who just appeared with all of his nuts and bolts and all of those screws fastened correctly, right? You don't know anything. You don't know how he established himself. You don't know what he's like under pressure because you didn't get to see him building himself. But this guy, you're helping him every step of the way. You know the complete recipe to how he became a better man. And also, he's going to always have a sense of allegiance to you because you helped him get there, right? Even if you guys don't work out, even if you fall out, he'll never be able to forget you as a monument. You'll always be a monument. You'll always be a cornerstone in him getting where he got to. And here's the thing, if you ladies are single right now, it wouldn't hurt. Even if it didn't last, it'd be better than just sitting around being by yourself all the time, right? Because that's what you guys are doing right now. You're rolling through your phone when you get that itch that needs scratched. And when he doesn't pick up, you hit his phone, you know. I'd rather have someone who's going to leave me in 5 years than to go through all that bouncing around, you know, up and down the cop carousel and yeah, trauma trail. And by the time you're done, you're no good for anyone. You're no good for anyone by the time you're done. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll probably be deleting that person, straight weirdo. So give the crackhead a chance. You guys would be surprised if you knew who all you admired today who were crackheads back then. That's why, you know, people like this. And you know what? This person won't even put a profile picture up. I'd like to know that person's story. Me, myself, I've never been fond of the word crackhead. I call them drug users because people have vices. I'd like to know what this person's vice is. And this is what I'm talking about. The audacity of you people. The audacity. The average African American doesn't have $2,500 cash that they can freely go retrieve right now. And yet, even some of those people. Listen, if you have $10,000 in your bank right now, and that's it, you are beyond poverty. You are extremely broke. $10,000 is extreme poverty. Extreme poverty. It's bad. You're doing really bad. Think about how many of you don't have that. Right? Think about how many of you don't have that. It's going to get to the point where you people are going to see eventually. While people like me, we visualize your mistakes and capitalize off of them. People like me learn from your lessons. I don't need to be smacked. I just need to see you get smacked. Right? I'd love to learn off of your lesson so I could steal your experience, but not go down the path of repercussion that you're going to go down. I like to steal your experience and let it lead me to success, some type of prosperity. But listen, we're about to get up out of here, people. What I want you to do is start being more open-minded or start being more lonely. You're going to do one of the two, I guarantee you. One of the two. But until then, listen. Tomorrow's show is going to more than likely be the best show I've ever done. It'll probably be the best show of my next 5 months. It's that deep. We're going to be discussing empathy for the black women. Have you ever thought that America may have been just as hard on black women as it has black men? We're going to talk about it tomorrow, people. Let's go.